Mazzotti gives EFF 200,000 in 2014 as a contribution. That is a sin he has ever committed, because if he had not paid that money, this animal won't be here. That is his punishment. Leave cigarette, what. Then they say Mazzotti is the biggest fund of the EFF, biggest fund. Ombudsman says, big relative to which one? Because you must compare them. Do you have others? So, which other donations has Mazzotti ever made since 2024? No, that one of 2014, that one of 20, no, only that one of 2014. So why do you call him the current funder of the EFF? And you say fund EFF is even better because he made donation. And then Malema, why do you say he's the biggest funder of Malema? What do you have? That Mazzotti is a funder of Malema? The whole newspaper, Adrian, having taken a personal racist decision and chose to become typical of a racist white boy. The parties, they can come together, they're funded by one person. EFF is good to go and look for other partners for it to advertise on News 24. Talk about suppressing other political parties. The right to express ourselves is being violated. So we are going to take News 24 to the Electoral Court, because we cannot allow a media platform to run a political campaign against other political parties. They need to declare that it is free and fair for certain parties who want to advertise on that platform to be excluded on the basis that their competitors are refusing to come with them, to come and advertise. When the DA opens its mouth all the time, says, no EFF, will never work with the EFF. Imagine where you're going to get the DA to come and advertise with you and told you that you are actually nothing. Tina Jumad was killed after the report was given that Tina Jumad, there's threats on her life, and she was being questioned by the Hawks and all of that. None of you has ever have an interest on what happened to that person. She's gone now. There's no clear, no one can give me a clear explanation. But what comforts me is that when the public protector reported this to Parliament, the Speaker, Mapisa Ngakula, defended this mess. And when it was her turn, they didn't defend her. That's good. That's how they eat each other. But there was recordings where Tina Jumart was saying bribes are needed from Pemima Jodina, from Janji, from Ugadewe 3. Yeah? Yes. Oh, Mapisa Ngakula was also going to get the portion of her pensions. Nothing. With recordings, she can't say, okay, let's institute some smaller inquiry because there is some prima facie evidence. Nothing. Nothing. And that woman is sleeping now. No justice has been achieved for her. You have a speaker who is in trouble with the law. You have that is another arm of the state. You have a chief justice who's in trouble. Be that as it may be, Chief Justice Zondo made a statement that the ANC made a good decision in 2017 when it elected Cyril Ramaphosa as a president. That was a good decision which saved the country. No one is holding him, and even this professional, including black professional legal bodies put down. No one has reported him to JCC. Because Mokweng was charged for commenting about politics in relation to Israel. This one is commenting about politics in South Africa, worse, internal party political issues. There's no discipline against it. That's another, they are doing each other favors. Then you have a president of the country in trouble with the law, because Pala will not go away. He can do whatever he wants to do. Let me tell you, there was a case opened by that former DG of intelligence, Fraser. There's a case number. They now have to go and say we decline to prosecute so that we can prosecute him privately. There was a case number, VBS. Malema must speak about VBS. Give me a case number against me on VBS. That is an issue. This is an issue we'll never let go. Where is the case number? Even in the absence of the case number, because of political hatred and political agenda, we must still go after them. Shibambo must account for VBS. Because of VBS, Shibambo's brain, economic brain, has shrunk. He can no longer be a good economic analyst. He can't make a good minister of finance. He went VBS. There are people who are in the dock now. There is a white man, former CEO of VBS, who was arrested and who confessed, now saving time in jail. People are being prosecuted on daily basis, especially in Limpopo. There's former CFO, CEOs and all of that. Not a single law enforcement officer has ever even sent an SMS to ask us about VBS, including those fraud hawks. You know, there are hawks when they hear, hey, there is a case coming against you, then they start saying, no, I'm so and so from the hawks. There is this thing, we can close it, send this much. Not even a fake call was ever made to us about VBS. But VBS, because you cannot find anything politically, ideologically to falter the EFF. That's why Moeleti Mbeki speaks about the leadership of the EFF, likes nice things. That's why they want houses with swimming pools and all of that. And then you don't ask him if Fidel Castro was a revolutionary. If he says yes, he say, didn't Rolex watch? The president, former president of Venezuela, Hugo Chavez, a good dresser of note, a man of style. But if you compare Chavez with Malema, to Malema's haters, Chavez is a revolutionary, but there's nothing that I'm doing different from what Chavez did. Who said Chavez didn't have a coup? And Lenin. What is revolutionary about smoking cigar? Because Fidel Castro used to smoke cigar. But if you were to smoke cigar now, you're going to be taken a picture and be questioned, what is revolutionary about cigar? But Fidel has never been questioned. What is revolutionary about smoking cigar when you're... We don't need political parties who must contest as independents. Musi Maimani today is contesting as a political party. You have never called him a flip-flop. This one who can't speak properly. Action essay, Mashaba. And people said, I'm attacking people who was stuttering. Mashaba is not stuttering. No, it's not. Mashaba doesn't have a proper thought process. And people said, I'm attacking people who was stuttering. Mashaba is not stuttering. No, it's not. Mashaba doesn't have a proper thought process. So he can't think and speak at the same time. That is a serious weakness in a person. He can't think and then in Parliament I was making a simple point. Or when you come with one seat or two or three, it's 3 minutes. What is Mashaba going to say there with that kind of articulation? You are wasting your time. He will leave that Parliament without having said a word. Imagine that the speaker is the EFF in the coalitions. Machaba, Machaba, Honorable Machaba. Then it starts being worse. By the time he utters first sentence, the time is over. Sit down. That's what you need to. Once you stand up, on a point of order, speaker, what's that? It's not point of order, points are made. Done. Because we are fighting for time. So, Mashaba says the EFF, when he leaves the DA, the EFF is the only party that has never come to me and asked me for tenders. I've got a high respect for the EFF. Today he calls EFF all sorts of names. None of you call him a flip-flop. None of you call President Mandela a flip-flopper. After he said he's going to nationalize, immediately after President Dali was standing next to him there. And then later Mandela said privatization is not a policy of the ANC. Well, I mean nationalization, we're going through privatization. It's not a flip-flop. President Mbeki, who said, how do I do door-to-door and explain to people to vote for a party which has got Nkabis in their branches? Today he says, I'm available, I'm going to campaign for my party. It's wrong for you not to campaign for the party. It's not being called a flip-flop. Why do you call the EFF flip-flopper? It's because you can't falter it politically and ideologically, and its commitments to fighting for the poor of the poorest. So we are here to say to you, we are available and we are a government in waiting, and it's nothing that really can come between us and the union building. The ANC is at its weakest state now. If we miss this opportunity, we're gone, we're out. This is an opportune moment for South Africans to make a serious historical turn, because 1994 we thought we were there, only to realize now that we are now in a more crisis than we were in 1994. So the coalitions is my last point. We are open to talk to everyone, and our demands are very simple, which have always been. They don't change. They can change here and there. And we are not far with many parties on what needs to happen. I mean, ATM, example, PLC, MK, including the ANC, by the way, on the land question. We are not far apart. We had actually had an agreement. Was it in this hotel? In this hotel, with the ANC, that we are going to expropriate land without compensation. And they developed a contract that we are going to nationalize the Reserve Bank, that we are going to establish the state-owned bank. These two we followed up when we got into Parliament. We made proposals on the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, made a proposal on the establishment of state-owned bank and the nationalization of banks. And one of the simplest demands we made was remove the stem from the national bank. We can find another Afrikaans version if you want Afrikaans. But the stem is not an Afrikaans version. The stem is a political song which cemented white Afrikaner superiority. And they were singing this song when they were torturing our people. In Flag Plus, when they were having you encaged.
Global Sources app version 5.1 is now available. Download it for free. Open your new app and you'll...
They bribe meat there, they drink because they are encaged. They bribe meat there, they drink because they are drunkards. When they get drunk with the smell of their meat, they start singing this song. Today you are a survivor of Flag Plus. You must come and sing the song that is reminding you of the torture. Can you imagine if someone was to stand here and say, let's ask all the Jewish people to sing Hitler's songs? what's going to happen to you? You won't see the light of the day. But we are being made to sing the songs of our oppressors. We are made to pay Bhutan an apartheid debt, which its weapons were going to kill us. You must pay for the weapons which were meant for your killing. We're being asked that. We can't. We need the EFF to go to the International Court of Justice, ICJ, for real issues, not this pretentious ANC thing of wanting to pretend like they've got a problem with what's happening in Sudan. We need to go to ICJ and say, declare this 382 billion apartheid debt as a debt which should not be paid because it was borrowed by a system which you declared a crime against humanity. Someone goes to buy a gun, borrows a gun to come and kill me. Then ultimately the killing flops. They say, no, but this guy's got a debt which he took from us to buy a gun to come and kill you, pay. Why is the ANC not said, but we can't allow this? We can't allow this. With the problems that we have in this country, where many of our people go to bed without food, we are servicing the debt which was meant to kill us. With a budget of 320 billion rands budget deficits. Can you imagine what we can do if that issue is scrapped? They say, no, you no longer pay this. How much we can reduce the